Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine at your home. Dear students, we have been studying one of the important chapters of Y.S-4 of D.El.Ed second year. Already we have started the second chapter, that is Vachan Kaushalya, and now we are going to continue the same chapter. Here in this video we are going to discuss three more important points. ओके, व्हिडिओमध्ये आज आपल्याला काय शिकायचं आहे तर मागच्या व्हिडिओमध्ये राहिलेला एक भाग तो म्हणजे वाचन वेग, दॅट इज द स्पीड ऑफ रीडिंग. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज 2.4 अन्य वाचन तंत्रे. सो विदाउट वेस्टिंग टाइम लेट्स गेट started with the explanation. Okay students, are you ready? Very good. Yes students, let's start now. Vachan veg, that is the speed of reading. First of all, it is very important to read, whether you are reading loudly or whether you are reading in mind, but reading is very important. Until and unless you read, you will not able to understand anything. So here I am going to read it for you. Pay attention. प्रकट वाचन व मूक वाचन हे वाचन प्रकार अवगत झाल्यानंतर आपल्याला मजकूर वेगाने वाचायला येतो का याचा विचार करायला लागतो. Yes student, here what is important here, once you acquire the skill of loud reading and silent reading, okay students, then we have to think about one important aspect, that whether you are able to read the content with speed. Okay, speedily if you are able to read or not, that we have to think. Okay, so परिचित शब्द, कथा किंवा आपल्या संस्कृतीतील परिचित माहिती मजकुरात असेल तर जलद गतीने वाचन करणे शक्य होते. And when it is possible student, if you know the words, if you know the content is familiar to you, if the words are belonging to your culture, then very easily and quickly you will read it. Okay, so automatically the speed will increase if the words are familiar to you, if the words in the content which are belonging to your culture. Okay, so in short what we can say, if the content is familiar to you, then you will read with speed. If the content is not familiar to you, new words are there, okay, then, or the content is not familiar to you, the words are new, then you will find difficult read with speed. Okay, so next, मजकूर रंजक असेल, सोप्या भाषेत लिहिलेला असेल तर वाचन सुलभ होते, म्हणून वाचनाचा वेगही वाढतो. Yes, one of the important aspects is here that if the content is very entertaining, very interesting, then automatically speed will increase. Okay, as well as if the language of the content is very simple, then you will read very speedily. Automatically the speed will increase if the content is interesting as well as the language is very easy. Okay, प्रकट वाचनात एका मिनिटाला आकलनासहित किती शब्द वाचून होतात तो वाचन वेग अशी गणना करता येते. Yes student, what is the speed now? What is the reading speed now? अशा प्रकारचा प्रश्न विचारला जाऊ शकतो की वाचनाचा वेग म्हणजे काय. तो वाचनाचा वेग म्हणजे काय? What is the reading speed? So here, while doing the loud reading, how many words you are reading per minute? Okay, in this way we can measure the speed of reading, that how many words you are reading per minute. Okay students, जलद वाचन करण्यासाठी वाचनाचा वेग वाढविण्यासाठी करायच्या उपाययोजना कोणत्या? वाचन वेगात मजकुरानुसार फरक होतो का? वाचनाच्या गतीवर परिणाम करणारे घटक कोणते? असे बरेच मुद्दे विचारात घेणे गरजेचे आहे. Yes student, here now, जलद वाचन करण्यासाठी means if you want to read speedily, which aspects we have to consider? See student, here what we have to consider, what to do to increase the speed of reading. Okay, then जर वाचन करताना मजकुरात फरक असेल तर वाचनाच्या स्पीडवर फरक पडतो का? Yes, is there any effect if the content changes? Yes student, just now I have told you, if in a content the words are familiar to you, the language is very easy, then you will read it very speedily. Otherwise, if the content is not familiar to you, if the words are very difficult, if the language is difficult, then you will not able to read fast. ओके स्टुडंट, वाचनाच्या गतीवर परिणाम करणारे घटक कोणते, असे बरेच मुद्दे विचारात घेणे गरजेचे असते. येस स्टुडंट, अगेन व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग इज दॅट विच फॅक्टर्स अफेक्ट्स ऑन reading, that factors also we have to consider while reading speedily. Okay student, have understood? Now see, one of the important factors that we have to discuss here, एक सर्व महत्त्वाचा घटक आपल्याला इथं अभ्यासायचा आहे किंवा डिस्कस करायचा आहे, तो म्हणजे मजकुराची वाचनीयता. सो व्हॉट इज मजकुराची वाचनीयता? दॅट इज रीडेबिलिटी. रीडॅबिलिटी, व्हॉट इज रीडॅबिलिटी? ओके, ही मजकुराची वाचनीयता म्हणजे वाचकाला जो मजकूर सहजपणे वाचून त्याचे आकलन होते. व्हेरी सिंपल स्टुडंट, व्हॉट डू यू मीन बाय मजकुराचे वाचनीयता और रीडेबिलिटी मीन्स व्हॉट? येस स्टुडंट, व्हॉट डू यू मीन बाय रीडेबिलिटी? सो हियर मजकुराची वाचनीयता म्हणजे सच अ कंटेंट that the reader can read very easily and understand very easily. So here two aspects are important student, reading easily and understanding that content. Okay, so reading and understanding both are involved in reading. Okay student, if you are reading but not understanding, that is not called as a speed reading. Okay student, so whenever you are reading something, understanding should be there. You should understand whatever you are reading, that is called as reading. Okay student, so मजकुराची वाचनीयता means what? मजकुराची वाचनीयता means म्हणजे वाचकाला तो मजकूर, मजकूर means content. ओके, मजकूर सहजपणे वाचून त्याचे आकलन होणे. आकलन मीन्स अंडरस्टँडिंग, कम्प्रिहेन्शन. ओके, व्हॉट एव्हर यू आर रीडिंग यू शुड अंडरस्टँड. आकलन झाल्यानंतर वाचलेल्या मजकुरावर वाचकाची स्वतःची विचार प्रक्रिया होऊन त्यावर तो स्वतःचे मत व्यक्त करू शकतो, प्रतिक्रिया देऊ शकतो, उपाय सुचवू शकतो. And some more factors are included in the readability, that whenever the reader reads a content, okay, after reading the content, the reader should think over it. He should think over it. He should give opinion on it. He should put his opinion on the read material or read content, as well as he or the reader should give some suggestions on the content. Okay, so that is called as readability. If you are not able to think on it, if you are not able to give opinion about whatever you have read, then it is not called as a readability. असे घडल्यास मजकुराची वाचनीयता वाचकाच्या दृष्टिकोनातून योग्य आहे असे म्हणता येईल. If all these things happens, that time we can say that the content is readable. Okay students, have understood? Very good. Now त्यासाठी खालील मुद्द्यांचा विचार करणे आवश्यक ठरते. Okay, then the following factors are very important in readability. First one is लिखित मजकूर याचे उच्चारण. Yes student, लिखित मजकूर means what student? Whatever is written material. Okay, written content, and written, whatever is written, that is संकेत चिन्ह. Okay, what we write? We write संकेत चिन्ह. संकेत चिन्ह means signs and symbols. Signs, S-I-G-N-S, signs and symbols. Pronunciation of signs and symbol. Then pronunciation, in pronunciation what is included? Decoding is included, understanding is including. It means that reading means what here? That लिखित मजकूर यांचे उच्चारण म्हणजेच लिहिलेल्या मजकुराचा अर्थ लावणे. ओके, डिकोडिंग द रिटन मटेरियल or written content. So this factor is very important in readability. Now on second one, विद्यार्थ्याला मराठी लिखित मजकूर देवनागरी लिपीत मोठ्याने वाचता येणे. This is very important student. Here most of the students face the problem that they could not able to read Marathi which is written in Devanagari. Okay student, so the student should able to read the Devanagari lipi and he should read it loudly. Now third one, मूक वाचनात संकेताचे उच्चारण मोठ्याने करायचे नसल्याने एका दृष्टिक्षेपात 2 ते 3 शब्दाचे एकत्रित वाचन करता येते. Yes student, here मूक वाचन means what? Silent reading. So while doing silent reading, what is important here? Here in silent reading we are not reading loudly. Okay students, we are not uttering the letters loudly, we are not converting the written material into sounds, but in mind we are reading. So here while reading, at a time the student should capture or recognize 2 to 3 words at a time, and hence the speed increases. Okay, and hence speed increases. While doing loud reading, we read one letter at a time, one word at a time. But here in silent reading, in a sight we identify 2 to 3 or more than 3 letters or words, then we can increase our speed here. यामुळे प्रकट वाचनापेक्षा मूक वाचनाचा वेग जास्त असतो. And this is the reason that the speed of silent reading is more than the loud reading. Student, now the next one that we are going to understand here, that is भाषेची काठिण्य पातळी. That is the difficulty level of language. Okay students, difficulty level of language. वाचन करताना विद्यार्थ्यांचा पूर्वानुभव, परिचित शब्द, सांस्कृतिक संदर्भ, सोपी भाषा आणि त्याची वैयक्तिक आवड हे घटक वाचन मजकूर सोपा करतात. Just now we have discussed the student. In reading, if the words are familiar to you, if the content is related to your culture, if the language is very easy, then we can read very easily and with speed. Okay student, so these factors affects on reading. So which factors are there which makes your reading very easy? The first one is that purvanubhav. Purvanubhav means what? Experience. If you have the experience of reading, or if you have read something earlier, then it will make your reading very easy. Parichit shabda means what? Familiar words. If the words are familiar, very easily you will read. Sanskritik sandarbha means whether the words are related to you, whether the words are belonging to your culture, then the words will be familiar to you, then automatically the difficulty level will be less. Now sopi bhasha, easy language. If the language is easy, automatically you will read very fast. Then त्याची वैयक्तिक आवड. This is also very important factor. Students, yes, if you don't have interest in reading, then you will not read. So वैयक्तिक आवड means individual interest in reading. If you like to read, then you can read very fast. हे घटक वाचन मजकूर सोपा करतात. All these factors make your reading very easy. यामुळे आकलन सहज होते. यामध्ये कथा, कविता, चुटके, निरनिराळ्या प्रकारचे ललित लेखन याचा समावेश होतो. And because of this, you can easily understand all the things. And which things are included in this? Stories are there, poems are there, short lines are there, then various forms of literatures are there. Okay, वैचारिक लेखन मात्र पारिभाषिक शब्दांनी युक्त असते. Yes, वैचारिक लेखन means what? The thoughtful writing is full of rich vocabulary. Okay, difficult words are included in that. A standard language is used, standard words are used. Okay, standard means what? प्रमाणित शब्द. ओके, प्रमाणित लँग्वेज, प्रमाणित भाषेचा वापर याच्यामध्ये केला जातो. आणि बरेचदा अपरिचित शब्दांचा वापर असतो आणि त्याच्यामध्ये बऱ्याचदा अनफॅमिलियर शब्दांचा वापर असतो. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम द अनफॅमिलियर वर्ड्स आर युज्ड, डिफिकल्ट वर्ड्स आर युज्ड. ओके, and because of that, here we can face the problem of understanding. We will not able to understand the difficult words. साहजिकच त्याची वाचनीयता सहज सोपी नसते, and because of that we will not able to read very easily. Now next, one of the important factors, that vachan og, that is fluency. As we know that fluency should be there in speaking, in the same way fluency should be there in reading. Okay student, fluency means what? Without any hurdle, when we read something, that is called as fluency. Okay, without any hurdle, when we speak, that is called as fluency in speaking. Here also we have to read without any hurdle or obstacle. Okay, उपरोक्त मुद्द्यांचा विचार केला असता ललित लेखनाच्या वाचन ओघात कोणत्या घटकांचा अंतर्भाव होतो? Yes, almost all the points we have discussed here. And if we have considered all the points here in the literature, if you want to bring fluency in reading the literature, which factors are important here? Let's see. The first one, शब्दातील अक्षर ओळखून त्या अक्षरांचा एकमेकांशी संबंध वाचनात शोधणे. Yes student, whenever we read, just see student, we read a word, but while reading the word, we need to connect the letters together, and then only we can read a word, because a word is formed with the multiple letters. So we have to understand the relation between the letters, okay, while reading. Okay, as well as the second one, वाक्यातील शब्दांचे परस्परांशी असलेले अर्थाच्या दृष्टीने संबंध शोधणे. Student, most of the time we say that the sentence is meaningful. When we say that the sentence is meaningful, if you are able to identify the meaning of the sentence, identifying, recognizing the meaning of the sentence means what, or interpreting the meaning of the sentence means what. If you are able to understand the meaning of the sentence, it means that you are definitely able to form the relation between the words in a sentence. Relation with the words in a sentence is very important. To find out the relation of the words in a sentence is very important. If you find out, if you recognize the relation of the words in a sentence, then only you will able to interpret the meaning of sentence, otherwise no. हो का नाही. वाक्यातील शब्दांचा संबंध जर आपल्याला समजला तरच आपल्याला वाक्याचा अर्थ हा कळू शकतो. जर वाक्यातील शब्दांचा संबंध आपल्याला समजला नाही तर वाक्याचा अर्थ सुद्धा आपल्याला कळत नाही. म्हणून वाचन करताना, साहित्य वाचन करताना वाक्यातील शब्दांचा परस्परांशी संबंध काय आहे तो समजून घेतला पाहिजे. थर्ड आहे वाक्यावाक्यांच्या अर्थपूर्णतेच्या दृष्टीने आंतरिक नाते शोधणे, परिच्छेदात आलेल्या मजकुराचा एकूण अर्थ लावणे. पहा स्टुडंट, हे तिन्ही मुद्दे जे आहेत, घटक आहेत, दे आर लिंक्ड टुगेदर. इन द फर्स्ट वी हॅव सीन दॅट रिलेशन बिटवीन द लेटर्स. सेकंड वी हॅव सीन दॅट रिलेशन बिटवीन द वर्ड्स. नाव हिअर व्हेन यू आर रीडिंग अ साहित्य ऑर लिटरेचर, वाक्यावाक्यामध्ये रिलेशन काय आहे, जेव्हा वाक्यावाक्यातील रिलेशन काय आहे ते कळेल तेव्हा आपल्याला ते जे साहित्य आपण वाचतोय त्याचा अर्थ आपल्याला कळेल, अदरवाईज आपल्याला कळणार नाही. द रिलेशन बिटवीन द सेंटेन्सेस वी हॅव टू अंडरस्टँड द होल ऑफ द लिटरेचर. ओके स्टुडंट, हॅव अंडरस्टूड? Very good. Now next we are going to understand. This part I am not going to read, but I will make you understand in a very short way. See student, in India we know that we have multilingual societies. Multilingual societies म्हणजे आपल्या समाजामध्ये वेगवेगळ्या भाषा बोलणारे लोक आपल्याकडे राहतात. वेगवेगळ्या भाषा बोलणारे लोक आपल्याकडे राहत असल्यामुळं आपल्याला असं पाहायला मिळतं, we can see that the people are using the mix of language. They are mixing language together and speaking. Okay, most of the time when if a person is speaking Marathi, he may be using Hindi words, he may be using English words, or he may be using Gujarati words together, all together. And such kind of language we can hear continuously. Okay student, but using such kind of language is good for us or not? So there are two thought process. Some people are against it, and so the students, some of the people who are favoring that we can use a language or mix of language, okay, at a time they can use multiple languages at a time. If we are using multiple language, that is good for us because of the globalization. So it can happen because of the globalization, because the people who are speaking multiple language, they are living together, so it can happen. Okay, and the other people who are against it, and they say that it is not good to use multiple language while speaking. We should not mix up the language. If you want to speak effectively, we should not use the other words from the other language while speaking one particular language. If you are speaking Marathi, use Marathi only. If you want to speak Marathi effectively. Okay students, so this is the thing only here. Yes student, now the next very important point is that we have studied already the Vachan Tantre or the reading techniques. Now here we are going to discuss some other techniques of reading. See student, here short introduction is given. वाचाल तर वाचाल हा विचार आपण सतत डोळ्यासमोर ठेवला पाहिजे. If you read, then only you can survive. Student, it is very important. माहितीचा विस्फोट झालेला असल्यामुळे किंवा असल्याने क्षणोक्षणी नवनवीन माहिती आपल्यासमोर येत आहे. We know that there is a sport of information. There is a sport of information. And we should be familiar with all the information. नवे शोध, नवीन तंत्रे, नवीन पद्धती, नवीन साहित्य अशा रूपाने ही माहिती आपल्यासमोर येते. And in a various forms, such kind of language, such kind of information comes in front of us. Then काळाबरोबर अद्ययावत ज्ञान आपल्याला असले पाहिजे तरच आपण कोणत्याही क्षणी आपल्याला आलेल्या प्रश्नांचे सरळ निरसन करू शकतो. इफ यू आर अपडेटेड देन ओनली यू कुड एबल टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लेम्स. ओके, या माहिती युगात सगळ्या साहित्याचे सखोल आणि तपशिलात वाचन करणे वेळेअभावी शक्य नाही. ओके नाही. येस स्टुडंट, हिअर most of the time because of our busy schedule it is not possible to read all the literature. Okay student, पण वाचन तर करायचीच आहे, but is must to read. अशा परिस्थितीत पुढील वाचन तंत्रे आपल्या उपयोगी पडतील. Then how to read? We don't have time, okay, to read. So how to read then? Even we are busy, anyhow we have to read. Then first and most important technique of reading is skimming. What? Yes student, it is very important. Question can be asked, what is skimming? Okay, yes student, yeah. So skimming means what then? What do you mean by skimming? पुष्कळदा परीक्षेच्या वेळी उजळणी करताना महत्त्वाचे मुद्दे, व्याख्या इत्यादी आपण नजरेखालून घालतो. Very easy student. Most of the time while doing the revision before going to examination, so we see only the important points. Okay, we do not read all the details. Okay, just we see the point and go through it very quickly. We go through it. Okay, that is called as skimming. Very quickly we go. कधी कधी टेलिफोन डिरेक्टरी मधून एखादा टेलिफोन नंबर शोधून काढतो है ना. हाउ डू वी फाइंड आउट द टेलिफोन नंबर फ्रॉम द टेलिफोन डिरेक्टरी? Very quickly we find out we directly go to the code and then we find out the district code and whatever the code is there and we try to find out the number from the directory. Okay, वर्तमानपत्र वाचत असताना आपण सर्व बातम्या सविस्तर वाचतो असे नाही. We do not read the newspaper in detail, just we go through headlines something. Okay, sometimes we just go through the headlines only and we understood what is given in the next paragraph and we leave it. Okay, that is called as skimming. देन अशा प्रकारे वाचनामध्ये महत्त्वाचे मुद्दे, संकल्पना लक्षात घेतल्या जातात. ओके, तपशिलात वाचन केले जात नाही. इन डिटेल वी डू नॉट रीड इन स्किमिंग, जस्ट वी रीड. ओके, वी गो थ्रू इट. ओके, अभ्यासाची उजळणी वगळता इतर मजकुराचे आकलन खालच्या पातळीवर होते. वाचन वेग मात्र मिनिटाला 700 शब्द इतका असू शकतो. येस, वाईल डुईंग द स्किमिंग the speed of reading may be 700 per minute. Okay, now the next one, it is very important student. Question can be asked on skimming and scanning also. The second one is scanning. What is scanning now? एखादे महत्त्वाचे वाक्य, एखादी व्याख्या, एखादे सूत्र किंवा महत्त्वाची माहिती हवी असेल तर पानावर झरझर नजर फिरवून तपशिलावर नजर केंद्रित होते आणि तेवढाच मजकूर आवश्यकतेनुसार वाचला जातो. Yes student, now here what I would like to tell you, one example I would like to give you, what is called as a scanning. In skimming I have given one of the examples of reading a newspaper. While reading the newspaper we read the titles, okay, the headlines, and we go through. That is called as, we can understand what is given in the paragraph. That is called as skimming. Now here scanning, what is scanning? If for example now see, if in a newspaper you want to find out something and having that purpose you are finding out and reading that only, that is called as scanning. Okay, scanning. For example, the people find out the news related to the cricket, so directly they go to the last page and find out the news related to cricket. Okay, that is called as scanning. We find out a particular information, that is called as scanning. ओके, खूप वेळा लेखाची सुरुवात किंवा शेवट महत्त्वाची अवतरणे शोधण्यासाठी हा वाचन प्रकार उपयुक्त ठरतो. सखोल वाचन, सघन वाचन, that is called as intensive reading. In a very simple way I would like to tell you student what is mean by intensive reading. Intensive reading means, in short, if you are reading something with a purpose, if you are reading something with intention, that is called as सघन वाचन और सखोल वाचन और इंटेन्सिव रीडिंग. ओके, सी स्टुडंट, अभ्यास करताना पाठ्यपुस्तकाचे तपशिलात अभ्यासपूर्ण वाचन याला सघन वाचन म्हणता येईल. And student, you know that if you have a purpose to read something, then you will read in detail. Okay, in detail you will read. It means in intensive reading, detailed reading is important. While reading, you will understand each and every word. You will understand the meaning of word. You will understand the grammar. you will understand the concepts. Okay, so all the details you will understand. That is called as intensive reading. सघन वाचन करताना मनामध्ये एक हेतू ठेवलेला असतो. हेतू मीन्स पर्पज, इंटेन्स और ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह. असे वाचन भरभर व वरवर करता येत नाही. वी डू नॉट रीड इन हरी ॲज वी आर डुईंग स्किमिंग अँड स्कॅनिंग. प्रत्येक शब्दाचे आकलन करून घेणे, फाइंडिंग आउट द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड, संकल्पना समजून घेणे, अंडरस्टँडिंग द कन्सेप्ट, प्रक्रिया संबोध समजून घेणे, प्रोसेस, अंडरस्टँडिंग प्रोसेस अँड द कन्सेप्ट समजून घेणे, कायमचे लक्षात ठेवण्यासाठी अशा प्रकारचे वाचन केले जाते. वैचारिक लेखन, तत्वज्ञान, विज्ञान आणि ज्या विषयाचा आपल्या जीवनावर प्रभाव पडतो अशा पुस्तकांचे वाचन सखोल असते. सो वी कॅन रीड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. फॉर एक्झाम्पल थॉटफुल रायटिंग, philosophy, science and the subjects which affects on our life, that such kind of reading can affect our life. वाचकाची फक्त संपूर्ण आकलनावर प्रक्रिया थांबत नाही, तर मूल्य प्राप्तीसाठी तो अशा प्रकारचे वाचन करतो. Yes student, so the reader do not read it for understanding only, but the values can be formed. If you read something, values can be formed in the reader. अशा प्रकारच्या वाचनातून नवीन संकल्पना, सिद्धांत व त्याची मांडणी याची निर्मिती होऊ शकते. मीन्स if we read in such way that new concepts can be created, innovation can be done, new formulas can be formed, new ideas can be formed. Okay, so that is called as intensive reading. Now व्यापक वाचन, that is called as extensive reading. Here also in a very short I would like to tell you what is meant by extensive reading. Whatever you are reading for the purpose of entertainment, whatever you are reading for gathering information only, whatever you are reading something extra, that is called as extensive reading, व्यापक वाचन. Okay, if you are not reading for examination, just you are reading for your entertainment, that is called as extensive reading. विविध हेतूसाठी विविध प्रकारचे वाचन कसे होते ते आपण पाहिले आहे. व्यापक हा विस्तृत वाचनाने वाचनाची विविध कौशल्य, भाषण, संभाषण कौशल्य साध्य करता येतात. मनोरंजनासाठी वाचन हे या सदरात मोडते. माहिती मिळवण्यासाठी वेगवेगळ्या विषयावरील वाचन वाचक करतात. आपल्या आवडीची पुस्तके, लेख वाचले जातात. सी जस्ट नाउ आय हॅव एक्सप्लेन ऑल दिस थिंग्स. सो हिअर फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ so here what we do, why we read the extra books, the books in which we have interest. Okay, that we read. Okay, या प्रकारच्या वाचनात विद्यार्थ्याच्या मातृभाषेतील मजकूर वाचन वेग किमान 150 ते 200 शब्द प्रति मिनिट असतो. तर अशा प्रकारच्या वाचनामध्ये एक्सटेन्सिव्ह रीडिंग, इन एक्सटेन्सिव्ह रीडिंग द स्टुडंट मे हॅव द स्पीड ऑफ रीडिंग ऑफ 150 to 200 words per minute. नेमलेल्या पाठ्यपुस्तका व्यतिरिक्त, ओके, नेमलेल्या पाठ्यपुस्तका व्यतिरिक्त मीन्स what ever the textbooks we have for our curriculum. Okay, other than these textbooks we read something more, some other books, some other magazines, some other novels. Okay, that is called as extensive reading. अवांतर वाचन प्रकारात मोडते. अवांतर वाचनाने वाचक भाषेच्या संदर्भात, माहितीच्या संदर्भात आणि ज्ञानाच्या संदर्भात अधिक समृद्ध होतो. if we do extensive reading, automatically our knowledge will increase. Okay, we will have more references as well as we can get mastery over on our language also. Okay student, have understood? Our vocabulary also increases. Okay, then our interest in reading also increases. Okay student, have understood? Very good. So वाचनामुळे अनुभवाचे क्षितिज विस्तारणे, तसेच त्यातून मिळणाऱ्या मूल्यामुळे संवेदना, सहानुभूती, प्रेम हे गुणही वाढीस लागतात. काही संशोधकांनी या तंत्रांना वाचन प्रकार असे संबोधले आहे. येस स्टुडंट, हॅव अंडरस्टूड दिस मच? व्हेरी गुड. तर आजच्या व्हिडिओमध्ये एवढंसं पुरे आहे. ओके, पुढच्या व्हिडिओमध्ये आपण पुढचा भाग आपण अभ्यासणार आहोत. जे काही आज शिकवलेलं आहे, इफ यू हॅव अंडरस्टूड देन डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू लाईक, कमेंट as well as share it to your friend and ask them to subscribe my channel. Thank you. Till then, be studious, be thoughtful, respect your teachers and parents.